Hi, and welcome to IELTS Karaoke, where I will be singing the answers to your favorite IELTS questions. No, I'm just kidding with you. Sorry. There will be no singing today, and believe me, that is a good thing. But today, what will be happening is I'm going to be showing you a technique that I call responding. And this is a technique to build your fluency in IELTS speaking. This is how it works. Basically, one of the big issues when students are preparing for IELTS speaking is that they're at home and they're preparing quietly and they're studying and they're preparing with the teacher. So they know the questions that are coming. They're preparing specific questions and they spend all the time they need to get ready and answer. What happens in the exam is different. Suddenly, you hear a question, you don't know which one, and you have to think of an idea and answer quickly or get your answer out. And you have a limited amount of time before the examiner interrupts you. It's that pressure, it's that time element that's really important for fluency. So in this technique, what I will be doing is practicing that. Okay. So without further ado, let me explain how this works. So what I've done is I've taken several part 3 questions and I've made a playlist on YouTube. I use the playlist on YouTube because it plays one question after another and you can shuffle them, which puts it in random order, so you don't know which question is coming. Clever, hey? And on the playlist, I've recorded the questions with a 50-second gap, time for me to answer, or for you if you want to do it. I say 50 seconds because as an examiner in IELTS, we normally want to get through 5 or 6 questions in part 3 minimum. So it's about 50 seconds, 40 to 50 seconds per question. Of course, you can spend less time, that's fine, on some of them. But the key to part 3 is to expand your answers and to speak for a longer period. And you will see today how long 50 seconds really is. So let me show you here how it's done. I keep getting interrupted by these messages here on my phone. Here, if you go to IELTS Speaking Success, you'll find on YouTube, the YouTube channel, and I'll put the link. In fact, you're on it already. That's where you're watching this, probably. If not, the link is in the notes. Go to the playlist here and look for the responding playlist, part 3. And then look for that shuffle icon, and that's this one up here. The shuffle, the little cross, because that will start sending the questions to me. And you'll hear the question by my examiner, right? You'll hear the questions. I will answer them having got an idea, because I don't know which question's coming. They're all on the same theme of hometowns, so hopefully should be okay. And then you'll see how I do. 50 seconds per question. I think there's 5 questions. Your task, if you choose to do this, is to see how many times I go, that horrible hesitation when you're trying to think of your ideas. Happens to all of us. Okay, so that's it. This is a great technique if you practice every day for 7 days. You go away and think about your answers and how you can improve your answers. I guarantee you will notice the difference in your fluency. You will improve. And that's it. I'm going to start. Listen out. It might be interesting to hear my questions. You can always go back, rewind, and watch this again to get some ideas for these questions. I'll make sure the volume is nice and clear so you can hear the mobile examiner. What do you think cities will be like in 50 years' time? It's a very good question. Cities in 50 years' time, I think, will have changed significantly. On the one hand, I think they will be bigger. We've seen a huge influx of people into cities as urbanization grows, people looking for jobs, for better education, better universities. It's inevitable there's a larger number of people coming here. And I think because of that, we will see an increase in the quality of facilities and amenities for the people in the cities. For example, that there's one thing I've heard about called smart cities. Do you think that cities are becoming more polluted than before? Yes, absolutely. Cities are becoming more polluted because there are more cars in the cities. Cities are probably not doing enough to control pollution and traffic in the major cities. Cities that were built, like my hometown, that were built for a smaller number of people, they've grown, but the infrastructure hasn't. So there are more cars, there's more pollution. And I think it's a big problem that needs handling in a better way. There's also more noise pollution because there's a lot of people in the city. And this has an impact as well. How do you think life in big cities could be improved? Oh, I think there's lots of ways life could be improved in the big cities. But if I were to choose one to talk about here, I think that we could potentially improve the education systems in big cities. That's one thing, but actually, on second thoughts, I think the biggest impact would be if we could improve the traffic system. We could have restrictions on cars coming into the city centre. We could have better public transport facilities, be it trains or buses. How can we solve the problem of pollution in cities? There are a number of ways of solving the problem of pollution in cities. One of them is to have better public transport. So we encourage more people to go by bus or by train or the metro so that less people are using the cars. We can have carpooling or car sharing systems so that when people are commuting to work, they're sharing a car. And again, there are less CO2 emissions, less fumes polluting the air in the city. Thirdly, we could have stronger restrictions on motorbikes that are noisy, noise pollution and fuel pollution, and that would help a lot. How is life different in cities compared to rural areas? Again, it's a great question and one I haven't thought about a lot. But I think, life in the cities is the hustle and bustle. Cities like where I live, there's a hive of activity, there's lots of things going on, which some people like and some people don't like. But I think in the countryside, there's a slower pace of life. People can take their time to do things. Admittedly, there are less facilities, but there's a slower pace of life. You have the fresh air, the parks, the countryside, where you can go walking. And I think it's more suitable maybe for older people who want to retire in the countryside and not have to worry about the noise and the busyness going on in the cities, if you like. And that's it. Whew. And that's only part 3. Now, you'll notice lots of hesitations. And it's true, I hadn't thought a lot about the questions or the answers. But this is the good thing, because now what this pushes me to do is to go away and think and get ideas and really prepare a little bit more. So when I come back tomorrow and do this, but not here on my own, I'll get better. And if you do this for 7 days, that process is going to improve your creativity, your ideas, and your fluency. Don't believe me? Try it for 7 days. Guarantee you will see a huge difference. That's it. I hope this can help you with your fluency. And do go into the YouTube channel where you can but get the questions for the hometown. Otherwise, you can make your own. Just record your own. YouTube playlists enable you to have that shuffle ability. Or you can get a friend to do this with you. Just make sure you control the timing, because that's really important, that you don't take all the time in the world. You want this to be as similar to the exam as possible. That's it. That's all from IELTS Karaoke. I'll look forward to seeing you again here soon. I hope this helps. Keep practicing, getting better day by day. Thanks. Bye-bye. You thought this had ended, didn't you? But it hasn't. And it hasn't, because what I need to do is put the link to the playlist. There's the link to the playlist in YouTube. Go on, go and have some fun.